Anyway, welcome to our show conversations. I know it's been a while. It has been a while, okay? Since I've been on the microphone, okay? Talking hella. Okay, let me go ahead and do my disclaimer real quick, because you know how I be getting down. Folks be getting insulted. They feeling some type of way. So let me go ahead and put my disclaimer. Okay? Basically, I do curse. I talk about sexuality. I do get loud and things like that. And, yeah, this is basically how I get down. So I'm sorry if you're looking for the plain Jane, okay, way of saying it. If you're looking for it, baby, this ain't it, okay? This is just not it. So that's my disclaimer. So I know it's been a while. I'm telling you, I just, I said, do I want to do this? Do I really want to talk about this right now? I mean, because, I felt like I was getting into the mode where I didn't even want to come back on this channel. I don't know. I just lost that oomph. You know what I mean? I don't want to do it if I don't got that oomph. But I want to talk about Mars and Scorpio, okay? I want to talk about this because it's a requested video. I'm not sure if the person is one of my subscribers, but it's a requested video. So we're going to talk about Mars and Scorpio. Now, I'm sorry, I probably won't even publish this, but I just want to go ahead and do something, because doing something is better than doing nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I don't really know if this is going to be my rough draft, because there was some things that I wanted to talk about with the Mars and Scorpio, but I'll probably put that in my part 2 video, just like I put some information out on my Mars and Cancer part 2 that was very vital, that, people need to take heed to. And if you take heed and you know what to look for, you know what I'm saying? You know how to roll with this thing. So I want to talk about Mars and Scorpio. Now, there's a lot of rumors going around, guys. Just like there's rumors going around about, ooh, don't fuck with the Mars and Cancer. Ooh, you gotta be so scared of the Mars and Scorpio. Ooh, you better watch your back with that Mars and Aries. And ooh, So it's like all this. And then when you hear about it, you're like, what the hell is everybody talking about? Let me look into this. So when I looked into it, Mars and Scorpio to me, it's like the phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay? Where a Mars and Scorpio person, they may, have moments of anger. Okay? They may be impatient. Okay? And they have that drive and that force and that passion. We're going to talk about some passion with the sign, okay? And that passion that they have for war. So when people hear about Mars and Scorpio, the thing is, it's like, be so scared. Because, they don't play. And I get it. I understand it. I see why they don't play. Okay? So, it is saying, okay, that if you have Mars and Scorpio, or if you know of a Mars and Scorpio, okay, these people on the dark side, because they not all like this, okay, but on the dark side, due to the fashion, due to the force, the drive, the will, the competitiveness, them being so impatient and them having that flavor of anger mixed all together with that scorpion sting, okay? These are the type of people that if you don't hit them with the first strike, and if they don't go down, then there's a chance that you're going to lose no matter what. So while I was doing the research, I did see that there's some kind of connection with like a Mars and Aries person and a Mars and Scorpio. I don't know if that comes up with you guys. And another connection was Mars and Cancer. I don't know. For some reason or another, even throughout my research, it kept coming up that a lot of Mars and Scorpio seem to have like this thing going on with a Mars and Cancer person. So I don't know if you guys, if you have that placement, if you've ever noticed that, that's been going on. But when you're dealing with a Mars and Scorpio, on the good side, this person, loves to make every situation memorable. So, again, with these people having all this energy, this force, and this drive, at times, they may go to the extreme with, showing you or giving you a good time, whatever that is, okay, whatever level that is. So if you're out there partying with a Mars and Scorpio, you might have like a wild time that, you've never had with anybody before. Or if you got into intimacy, it may be that wild time that you never, slappy dappy. Okay. That you never got into, with somebody before. Okay. Another thing with Mars and Scorpio, going back to the anger thing, there is times that, a Mars and Scorpio person may be so angry, okay, that they may shed a few tears, but they're not going to be bawling out of control. You know what I'm saying? Like a Mars and Pisces or a Mars and Cancer person, who would just be crying and, making a scene for no reason. These are the types of people that if things have gathered up over time, you may witness, unfortunately, them losing their temper, them punching holes in the wall, okay, and having a complete breakdown, because they got to that breaking point, okay. And it is said when they are at that point, it could be extremely scary for a lot of people around this Mars and Scorpio person. It could be that, a Mars and Scorpio person, they may have had some issues in their childhood that may have, been traumatic. And even if it was a good or a bad thing, their mission going forward is to try to secure themselves because of issues that may have happened in childhood. So I don't know where that came from. That came up, this is just something that was said. Another thing about Mars and Scorpio people is that they like to keep secrets, okay? And they usually have like a lot of like deep secrets, okay? Secrets that if, pretty much produced, it could eventually, produce a war, okay? Or, produce a situation where, people will get offended. And that's because the Mars and Scorpio is always playing their cards close to their chest. So they really know how to strike at the right time and finally going for the kill, these types of people. So when you're dealing with a person who is, keeping these deep-seated secrets, and, they're playing their cards close to their chest, at times, they may give off this vibration that, things are a little bit intense. Okay? And when it comes down to a relationship, this is something that I researched, okay? And there's a lot of Mars signs out there. They don't give a fuck about the relationship. They really don't. There's a Mars sign that I'm going to be doing pretty soon. And that particular sign does not take, you know what I'm saying, a relationship seriously at all, okay? And this is why they go through so many relationships, trying to find themselves, and they can't really find because they believe that, dealing with all these different people, you know what I mean, will give them that well-rounded feeling that they so deeply want and they can't get. But see, when you're dealing with a Mars and Scorpio, it's different, okay? It's very, very different, even if you're a man or a woman, okay? Because sometimes, a Mars and Scorpio person, when they're in a relationship, okay, they take it very seriously. I mean, so seriously to the point where if you lack loyalty, then they're pretty much, they're throwing in the towel when it comes down to relationship. Okay, and things can get extremely controlling. Okay. Another thing about, Mars and Scorpio, with all this energy and stuff like that, depending on what the situation is, if you find that you have like so much energy inside that, you know what I mean, you're fearless, you feel like you're ready to face, take that energy, Mars and Scorpio, and maybe look into things that are intense, such as fighting, surgery, becoming a detective, anesthesiologist, because it's coming up, Mars and Scorpio people, I don't want to say the wrong thing. I really don't. I'm trying to keep it cool because the information that I looked up, man, is so freaking tense. And when you're dealing with somebody who's this intensified, these types of people have a stronger than average sex drive. And sometimes they have a fascination with sex. These are the types of people who will have secret lovers that they're crushing on. And yeah, I can't even say certain things, I just can't. And I don't even think this is gonna be the final video. I really don't think so. Because, no. But I'm gonna try to get through this. But a Mars and Scorpio person, they can be so deep that they can be like sexual healers. You ever heard that song? I don't know how it goes, but I know some of the songs was like, that sexual heal. Yeah. That kind of thing. So they have that sexual healing, that intensity, that irresistible attractiveness about them that lures sometimes forbidden and dangerous relationships that they may get caught up in. And I believe that a lot of Mars and Scorpio people, they usually try, they try to avoid those, but for whatever reason, they get caught up in these types of relationships. And that's because these are the types of people that will dare. They have that bravery inside of them, those hungry eyes, that whatever they want, they believe intensively. I mean, that drive, that feeling is just boiling inside of them. And then when you're dealing with all of that, that's energy. I haven't even been talking about energy on my channel lately, but there's some things that I did want to talk about as far as energy. I don't really want to get into it too much, but maybe a Mars and Scorpio could understand where I'm coming from, or even a Mars in Cancer, or maybe a Mars in Aquarius, but maybe not so. No. But when you're dealing with that sexual energy and it's building up and you have that passion and you're thinking about things that you want, and then you're able to have that self-orgasmic feeling, you can manifest, things that to some may be impossible in your lifetime. So when you're dealing with a Mars and Scorpio person, they have that same, I believe, type of feeling, that imagination, that deep passion that could be ruthless. In regards to having a passionate love affair with someone. And, sometimes it can be so intense that, if the relationship is threatened or anything like that, then it might be an obsession that comes out of that. Okay. And from what I was researching, the obsession wouldn't be like, I'm obsessing over you because of bullshit. No, this is sexual obsession. Okay. This is that animalistic, predatorial, adrenaline is rising to my kundalini that is driving me to do this type of obsession. So they have that animal magnetism inside of them that, it makes them really want to go and deeply immerse themselves, over and over again within that connection. So a lot of times, they say that, not all Mars, okay, but a lot of Mars and Scorpio people, it is saying that, these people could be considered, okay, an nymphomaniac. Okay, so it may not be a good idea if there's a Mars in Scorpio that is like this, and you got that ruthlessness, and you're looking for that passion, that love affair, and you're treading, and you have those hungry eyes, and you're ready to go into the dark side. It may not be a good idea to get married if you're feeling this way. Because, there's just some signs, this is something that I had to learn. A lot of people, they believe that, just because you're a woman, you have to do this, and you have to go, with the guidelines that every woman, goes, that's your age, that's your ethnicity, so on and so forth. But as I dig deeper within this astrology, I'm like, there's no way, man, that everybody could be subjected to the same rules, because the energy inside them does not support it. So if you have a Mars in Scorpio who has this drive of passion and love, it may not be a good idea, okay, to get with somebody like a Mars and Leo, okay, who, is not maybe stable like that. You know what I'm saying? Or, like a Mars and Aries that's too fast for that ass and will not appreciate the depthness and the sexiness and the beauty and the essence of somebody who has hidden treasures inside of them, like a Mars and Scorpio. So you may find that a lot of Mars and Scorpio people, okay, they may be attracted to signs such as themselves. Like a Mars and Scorpio, I hear a lot of good reviews about that, guys. I've been doing hella research on you guys, and let me tell you something. A Mars and Scorpio, and then another thing, I wouldn't be surprised to saying this as well. If you have a Mars and Scorpio, if you are able to dig into your lover's chart and stuff like that, or maybe people that you're attracted to, you may find that you've even had relationships with people who have like Mars and Scorpio, which to me is the ultimate perfect match. You know what I mean? Because you guys can match each other, head on, fist to fist, if that obsession and that deep passion and that ruthlessness in regards to a love affair was to ever rise to the top. At least you have somebody who can compete with this sexual nature and not be offended or be scared or not be able to handle such intensity when it comes down to a relationship. So Mars in Scorpio, again, those signs perfecto from what I saw. Another sign that may be good is a Mars in Pisces. You know what I mean? That will be a really good match as well, because a Mars in Pisces person will occasionally turn a blind eye on the Scorpio's sexual nature. Okay. And definitely, maybe try to work it out with the Mars in the Pisces person. Another thing I've been hearing too, for some reason, this has been coming up a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people are saying like they've been in relationships with people that had a Mars in Cancer, and they were with somebody who had the Mars in Scorpio. Okay. But at the same time, once again, you definitely want to work and find out exactly who you're dealing with when you get in these relationships, because just like I explained in the Mars in Cancer, a Mars in Scorpio, they may have issues in regards to domestic violence, okay, or fights within partnership. Okay. So, but that seemed to be like a major theme with Mars and Cancer. So that's just something that came up, but it's not something that, I guess would be normally happening, with the Mars in Scorpio. So, these are not the type of, Mars and Scorpio, they're, like I said, they're not like a Mars in Leo or Mars in Aries, or even a Mars in Aquarius that, they may have history on the dark side of jumping from partner to partner, only to find out that, none of those people that they thought that were attractive in the beginning, they didn't like them at the end. So they consistently go from partnership to partnership. Mars in Scorpio, it's coming up that these are the types of people that are faithful. And they can be faithful for a long period of time, okay? Because they have that possessiveness, that jealousness, that power within when it comes down to relationships, where they do have self-control. So they're able to bury their desires inside, just like a Scorpio. Scorpion people, they have a lot of desires inside that they know if they unleash it, it's wildfire. But due to the fact they realize how powerful that energy is, and how, they can't really go out sharing themselves with every Tom, Dick, and Harry, that, whoever gets a hold of this kind of sexual power that Mars and Scorpio holds, it may be some possession, whether it's coming from the Mars or Scorpio or even the other person. So, another thing that is coming up, okay, that a lot of Mars and Scorpio people, on the dark side, guys, on the dark side, I'm not talking about everybody, so don't get offended, guys. But it's coming up that they're, at one point in their life, they may have tried heavy drugs, like mushrooms, sex pills, heavy drinking, only because they was trying to tap into that sexual intensity that they have inside, which they possess. That if under these influences, they will be able to really, engage in what I call tantric sex. Okay. Where, pretty much that person can go all night long without climaxing. And, consistently getting to that arrival stage. Okay. Which I don't really want to talk about that, because that's a whole nother subject. And, I tried to introduce that on my channel and people got offended. So, I'm not going to even get into that. But there's, that's something that I think Mars and Scorpio people, should look into, due to the fact that they have this energy inside that, that they do, they really do enjoy experiencing. Okay. So if a Mars and Scorpio person likes you, okay, they usually want to have sexual contact with you immediately. Okay, because they see having sex with you as a way to release their desires to someone that they were on a sexual pursuit for. Okay. At times, they may be a little ruthless and selfish sexually, and they may try to dominate and control their partners with sex by withholding sex for a long period of time. Okay, and I believe that they do this is because they want to control, of course, and also build up that sex drive that they have inside, that when they release, it's like an ocean of commotion that, you know what I'm saying? So it's that build up. Again, there is some signs out there. They would never know what that means, okay? They don't have that ability to go on a sex strike, okay? They don't know what it is to build up a sex drive and to harness energy that will only give them power. See, a lot of people sometimes, they feel like having sex consistently gives them power. No, that actually weakens you, okay? It weakens your immune system. It weakens your mind. It weakens your energy. It weakens your thoughts. You are totally lazy. You can't do shit. You have no stamina to fight. To fight for anything that you desire. Whether that be, manifesting wealth and riches for yourself, manifesting, a career, or manifesting something that you want to do with your life, a desire, a dream. Sometimes when you're consistently letting loose and releasing yourself, that makes you weak. That makes you tired. And when you're tired and you don't have no stamina, you have no energy, it's hard to harness energy. Another thing I wanted to bring up, for some reason or another, I don't know why they said that, but they said that basically if someone in the house, if you're a Mars and Scorpio, and if someone in the house has a flu, out of all the signs, for some reason it was weird, but they're saying that a Mars and Scorpio is highly likely to feel sick compared to other signs. Another thing I wanted to say, and I did mention this in the Mars and Cancer, there's some signs out here that they need to take precautions when it comes down to certain areas of their life. So there's certain Mars signs out here that they may need to take precaution in regards to like a working area. Like, wherever they work, they need to, take precaution and be safe at work because they're highly likely of, being in danger. If they're at the workplace, or, in danger if they're, in a certain situation. So all these Mars signs, like I mentioned in Mars and Cancer, same thing. It's coming up for the Mars and Scorpio too, that there could be at times danger around the home. So you have to be aware of like injuries and, make sure you have all your alarm systems and everything like that, and on the up and up when it comes down to the home. I don't know why it came up like that for the Mars signs, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mars and Pisces has something similar. I don't know if that has anything to do with water and fire or something like that, but they're definitely saying that definitely you want to be aware of injuries again at the home front if you have Mars and Scorpio. Okay. You may find that if you're a Mars and Scorpio, it's coming up also that you may find yourself stuck in the same city and town that you grew up in. That even though, it was filled with painful memories, for some reason you just find yourself in that town, but it's coming up that if you have a Mars in Scorpio, you might want to go against the grain and relocate and bounce from your area, because you'll find, surprisingly enough, that many doors will open up in your life. Many dreams that you may have on a back burner will now come into fruition just because you decided to relocate from an area that you were raised in. I don't know why it's coming up like that, but it is coming up like that. Okay. As far as careers, I don't know if you guys know, but Bill Cosby, I found out that Bill Cosby has Mars in Scorpio. So, not taking any offense or anything like that, but it is coming up that a lot of Mars and Scorpio people may, have sexual fetishes. Okay. Or, another thing I wanted to also bring up too with the Mars and Scorpio is that you may find that you have a lot of issues. Again, when I was talking about the home front, you may find that there's a lot of issues. I don't know why it came up like this, guys, surrounding children. So a Mars in Scorpio, for some reason or another, they may find that, they're around kids or teenagers or their children or some type of children that kept coming up that wants to rebel. Okay, so you may find that if you're a Mars and Scorpio person, you may find yourself going back and forth to court in regards to children. Some issues with children. Okay. So I don't know what that was about, but hopefully that doesn't apply for everybody. Everybody has issues with children, believe it or not. So don't take it personal, if that is coming up. But I don't know why it came up. So a Mars and Scorpio person, again, with them being so intense and everything like that, these are the type of people who will, really probably enjoy, politics, the criminal justice system, good writers, detective work, very good for a Mars and Scorpio person to have, an independent business, that may be in relation to, sports, magazines, publication, cooking, anything in the law, even occult, insurance, and maybe even an undercover cop, like a detective or a Secret Service person working in the military will be excellent for Mars and Scorpio. Yeah, Mars and Scorpio, man, I'm telling you, an undercover cop or their own private detective person would be absolutely great for Mars and Scorpio. I actually dated somebody who was an undercover. He was a detective, and he was very intense, and he had a whole nother side of him that nobody knew about. And I believe that, that's that harnessing of that energy. That if you're living on the dark side and you have Mars and Scorpio, you may find yourself getting involved in criminal activities. So instead of doing that, why not take that power and that influence that you have so naturally aside and apply it to something that's going to help others? Again, whether that has to do with, being a journalist or being a writer, somebody who's able to dig deep within mysteries and solve crimes and things like that. Okay. And you might find that you really do enjoy that. You might be also good at uncovering hidden secrets. So this is really good. And I recently learned, guys, as I'm going through all this astrology stuff, I even recently learned that, I don't know, somebody told me that I'm considered a Scorpio, even though my sun sign is a Pisces and I have other placements. I'm not going to break that down. But when they had looked at my shit, they was like, wait a minute, you're more like a Scorpio. And I'm like, a Scorpio? I don't feel scorpionic. But then I guess I am because of, the secretiveness and all that I have going on, which I basically cannot help that. Okay. And, I just had a disagreement with my family, because they're like, why are you acting like this? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And I'm like, I'm not doing anything. They don't understand it. And it's like, I can't explain it to you because I don't got time. And it's none of your business. And this is the way I roll. And if you don't like it, that's your problem. Don't get offended. But this is the way I do things. Okay? So, if this is how the energy feels being Scorpionic, I totally understand. I totally understand the intensity and, the natural ability to dig deep, okay, in regards to investigating things, okay? Yeah, so, just like a Scorpio, Scorpio people, they don't really get angry often, but when they do, okay, it could be one of the scariest experiences for a lot of people surrounding that Scorpio, okay? And the same thing applies to Mars and Scorpio. So you may find like a lot of Mars and Scorpio, and I'm going to go ahead and end this, and then we'll come back with a part 2. I may not even publish this, okay? But I just wanted to do something because it's been 3 weeks already. But you may find like a Mars and Scorpio person. These are the types of people, they don't really like forgive like that. They may say they forgive, but they definitely don't forget. Okay? And they rarely go openly and, are putting themselves on the front line when it comes down to offending themselves. So these are the types of people that are, they have the master of art in order, in regards to defending themselves. Okay? So these people, you know what I mean? Like I said, they may be involved in some deep stuff. And, when you're dealing with a Scorpionic person who has this kind of energy, which I totally understand, when it comes down to war, you don't really want to be on the front line showing folk that if shit goes down, you had any involvement in it. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to play the background as far as you can and examine the situation. And this is, I believe, how Mars and Scorpio, how they get down. Okay? They go for the ultimate victory. So, yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. Again, I might not even publish this. But I just wanted to do something because it's been so long. And I'll probably do it again, guys. So if I didn't do it right, I'm sorry. And if I didn't say anything that you probably haven't heard before, I'm sorry. But, yeah. There was so many things that I wanted to say, but I'm like, I can't. I got people listening at my door. I can't. But hopefully I'll get into it on part 2. Mars and Scorpio, you rock. And thank you for listening.